Hello guys and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if it's your first time here. Today I will talk with you about the 5 things I use from Arcane style that actually improved my drawing while taking you through the process. 1. The power of hard edges. The first thing I learned from studying the Arcane style is that not every edge needs to be blended. I used to think smooth blending was the right way to paint, like if I could see a brush stroke it means I wasn't finished yet, especially along the jawline, around the eyes, or even on parts of the hair, can make the piece feel more confident. It draws the viewer's attention exactly where I want it. And when you put a sharper edge right next to a softer area, the whole contrast between them just makes the whole painting feels more dynamic. It tells the viewer, hey, look here. What's interesting is that this doesn't just make the art look better, it actually speeds things up. When you stop over blending everything, you're not wasting time trying to smooth out areas that you don't need to. Instead, you're making better choices. The area is sharp, this one is soft, and together they guide the eye. I even noticed that when I look at professional paintings, the sharp edge almost always sit in the same places, around features that define the character or areas where light and shadows meet. Once you notice it, you can't unsee it. The second thing is how they use color. Arcane doesn't just throw random colors into the scene. They usually pick one warm tone and one cool tone, and those two carry the entire atmosphere of the piece. It's super simple, but it works like magic. For example, if the skin is painted with warm tones, they will often use cooler colors in the shadows or the background. This balance gives it a mood instantly. When I tried this in my own work, I noticed I didn't even have to work as hard on the details. The color harmony was already doing a lot of the storytelling. What makes this even more powerful is that it creates consistency across the whole painting. Even if there are thousands of objects in the scene, sticking to that warm, cool relationship keeps everything feeling like it belongs in the same world. And the best part, you can shift the entire mood just by swapping which one is dominant. If the warm tone is dominant, it feels cozy or inviting. If the cool tone takes over, it feels mysterious or dramatic. That's the kind of simple trick that changes how you think about color forever. Number 3. Pushing the contrast in shadows. The third thing I notice is how they treat shadows. A lot of times, shadows in art can feel flat or dead if you just make them darker version of the base color. But Arcane style shadows are alive. They still have color in them, and sometimes even more contrast than you would expect. They will push a shadow cooler or warmer depending on the light source, and they don't shy away from making it strong. I started doing that myself, exaggerating the difference between light and shadow, and it made my paintings look so much deeper and more three-dimensional. It's also about being bold. When you make your shadow too subtle, the whole image can feel washed out, like the lighting doesn't know what it wants to be. But when you push the difference, even just a little, it creates that cinematic feeling, almost like the characters are lit for a movie scene. And funnily enough, once you commit to stronger shadows, the highlights start looking brighter without even you changing them. It's all about contrast. The light looks lighter because the dark is darker. Another thing I picked up is how they use texture. Arcane doesn't make every surface smooth and perfect. They leave little hints of brush texture or subtle noise, especially in backgrounds or clothing. It gives the world a gritty, believable feel. When I started adding texture in my own work, like using textured brush for a fabric or keeping some visual strokes in the hair, the art started feeling less digital and more alive. It's a small thing, but it changes the whole vibe. And the great thing is, texture can also be used to control focus. If the background has a rougher, noisier texture, but the main subject is painted with smoother strokes, the subject automatically stands out. Or sometimes the reverse works. Adding texture to the main character's clothing can make them feel more grounded in the scene. It's not just about making it look cool. It's about telling the viewer something about the world and the character without using words. And finally, the last big thing I learned is you don't have to render every corner of the canvas equally. Arcane puts most of the details where they want the viewer's eye to go. usually the face or a key object, and lets the rest fade out into softer shapes or looser strokes. This is not only saves time, but it also creates a strong focal point. When I applied this, I found that my pieces felt more intentional. The viewer's eye naturally travels where I wanted to, without me having to overwork every single area. Bad without me having to overwork every single area. Plus, it gives the artwork a cinematic quality. Think of how in photography, the background might blur out while the subject stays sharp. Your brain knows where to look. In painting, you can do the same things by just controlling how much detail you put in. And honestly, it makes painting more fun because you can spend extra time polishing the important areas while letting the rest breathe. For conclusion, those are the 5 main things I have taken from the Arcane style: the edges, the color balance, and the contrasting shadows, the texture, and the focus on key details. I'm not trying to copy their art style completely, but these little lessons have made a big difference in my own work. And the cool part is, I can still mix them with my own way of painting, so my style keeps evolving. What I like most about these techniques is that they are flexible. You can dial them up or down depending on the mood you want. Sometimes I will go all in with hard edges and deep shadows for something intense, and sometimes I will keep it soft and light, but still use the same principles. It's like having a toolkit that works for any project, and that's kind of the thing you carry with you as an artist. Let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to follow me on my Instagram. I have all my artwork there, and I will see you in the next one.